On today's show, we have the VW Polo for you. Now, this is not the regular version of the car, this is the hot 1.2 TSI version. So, does it have what it takes to appeal to your heart? Well, being a hot hatch should not mean that the car is not practical. And let's check out the practicality of this car by looking at the boot first. Now, to open the boot, you need to touch and open up this VW badge. It's a very smart styling element that VW's put in. And as you can see, it's a nice deep boot. It's wide enough. Suspension doesn't really intrude too much into it. You can actually genuinely pack an entire family's weekend baggage into it and head out for that holiday. And what's more, if you really want to improve the boot capacity, you can flip the backrest of these seats down to aid luggage area even more. Well, there's no cost cutting in this car. There's nothing that VW have done to reduce costs, and that's a very good thing because you get excellent cushioning on the seats. Under thigh support is very, very good, and the fabric in themselves feels very classy. There's a lot of solidity and quality about this car, and that's really a job well done by VW. Talking about the rear seats, there's a transmission tunnel here, so sitting a third passenger for long journeys will be an issue. But on the plus side, you do get this headrest that you have a safe journey on those long trips. Also, you get these little hooks over here to put those minor small bags or something like that if you want to put, and adds to practicality of this cabin. Well, the driver's seat is really the business end on the Polo TSI, and you'll be a little disappointed because VW haven't really changed much on the interior, so you get the same beige and black combination, which really isn't very, very sporty. It's more of a middle-aged man's color, really. But apart from that, the quality is absolutely phenomenal. This is the best quality cabin in a small car that we've seen. You get climate control, you get traction control, you get a stereo with Bluetooth connectivity, and a nice trip computer on board. Overall, there's nothing missing in this car in terms of the equipment, so you really have a good time, enjoyable time behind the wheel. The seats themselves are very supportive. They offer good comfort for long journeys, and the cushioning is very nice. The supporting at the bolstering is very good as well. The steering adjusts for rake as well as reach, which means that finding a comfortable driving position is very easy in the long run. Well, the Polo TSI comes with a 1.2 petrol engine which develops a little over 100 bhp, and this engine is the last word on refinement in its segment. And it's very, very punchy. Throttle responses are absolutely phenomenal. It's very responsive, which really means that you don't feel a big effort driving it around town or on the highway. Well, power is aided by a 7-speed dual clutch automatic gearbox, which also comes in sports mode, and you can also change gears manually by clicking it onto the left side. Well, this kind of a gearbox and this kind of an engine only comes in cars at a much, much more higher price point. So what VW have essentially done is made this technology accessible for someone who doesn't really have the money or want to spend so much cash, and that really is a big step forward by VW in democratizing technology. Well, this engine is an absolute hoot to drive. It revs all the way to 6,000 RPM without any lag anywhere. It's brilliant on performance. With so much power, you really don't need to push the engine too much all the time. All you need to do is just put it into sports mode, where the revs hold longer and the gearbox holds onto a lower gear for a longer time, which really does aid driving a lot. Well, what VW have done with the suspension is they've really, really stiffened it up nicely. What that means is when you're doing high speeds, when you're doing 3-digit speeds on the highway, you really do feel very, very confident in this car, and you feel very, very safe and reassuring when you're doing those speeds. But on the downside, when you're in the city, you do feel the bumps and potholes. Some of them do thud into the cabin, and the suspension is a little noisy in the city. But I guess that's the compromise you have to make if you want a car which handles so nicely, because this car is absolutely brilliant. Well, the steering wheel is very, very accurate. It's a little light, which means that driving it in the city will not be a big effort on your forearms, but it weighs up nicely, it responds well, it's agile, and that really does help in the overall driver experience of this car. Well, so in the overall analysis, the VW Polo TSI might look a little expensive, but remember what you're paying for is a classy cabin, solid German engineering, a lovely gearbox, and a very, very punchy engine, things you normally don't get in the small car category. So if you are a keen driver and want these things, then just head to a VW showroom and book this car. And if you want to know more about this car and its rivals, head to our website autoportal.com, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel by clicking on this link above. It's bye for now and hope to see you soon.